Time for business. Kate Moody's joined us for that, which is great news, starting with more legal troubles for the Chinese tech giant Huawei.
Absolutely. Very little secrecy here, it has to be said, Mark. The U.S. Justice Department announcing new criminal charges alleging racketeering and a decades-long conspiracy to steal trade secrets from American companies. The indictment names Huawei and several of its subsidiaries, as well as Chief Financial Officer Meng Wanzhou, who's currently under house arrest in Canada, waiting possible extradition to the United States. The Trump administration has effectively banned Huawei technology in the U.S. and has encouraged its allies not to allow the firm a role in the upcoming fifth generation or 5G mobile networks. Washington says Huawei's ties with the Chinese government pose a security risk, a charge both the company and Beijing deny. On Thursday, the French finance minister confirmed that Huawei would not be excluded from supplying 5G equipment here, but like in the UK, it would impose restrictions to protect consumers. European aviation giant Airbus overtook its rival Boeing last year as the world's #1 plane maker. But the company also faced its own financial challenges, as Alison Sargent explains.
In many ways, 2019 was a great year for Airbus. Its revenues rose by 11% to 70.5 billion euros, and the company delivered a record 863 jets. Still, with all accounts settled, Airbus saw a net loss of 1.36 billion euros. The company's CEO told France 24 it was a year of contrasts.
863 plane deliveries is a record in the industry and a record for us. But at the same time, this was the year we acknowledged the fine that Airbus agreed to pay to French, British and American legal authorities for their investigations.
Authorities were looking into accusations that Airbus used third-party agents to bribe public officials from over a dozen countries to buy its planes and satellites. The 3.6 billion euro settlement was the main hit to the company's bottom line. But Airbus also lost 1.2 billion euros on its military transport plane, the A400M.
We haven't really succeeded in selling it, and we're not allowed to sell it to certain countries like Saudi Arabia.
While Airbus saw setbacks, it still overtook rival Boeing, engulfed in the crisis over its 737 MAX.
Boeing is a very strong company. They will be back, and we have to be paranoid and really humble and concentrate on managing our own destiny and delivering very strong products at very attractive prices going forward.
Executives say they're confident the troubles of 2019 won't repeat themselves in 2020. They do expect to break another record and deliver 880 new planes.
Well, another major challenge for the aviation industry is going to be reducing carbon emissions as environmental activists increase pressure on passengers and providers alike. Our reporter Chris Bachman put that question to Airbus's chief financial officer.
I think first we can contribute a lot to decarbonize air traffic. There is still a lot of fuel-guzzling aircraft out there which should be replaced to come to better efficiency. On top of that, our investments in the development of green technologies is huge. I mean, our R&D spend is way beyond 2 billion. A good chunk of that is trying to abate CO2. And from that perspective, I think we're on the case, and it's clear that Airbus wants to be the leader in that field.
Let's check in on the day's trading action. Now, right across the board in Europe, the FTSE 100 dropped 1% in London as the pound jumped against the dollar and the euro. Airbus shares dropped 3% in Paris, and the CAC 40 closed slightly down. Wall Street turned downwards by the close of trade, both the Dow Jones and Nasdaq falling away from new records earlier in the session. Tesla shares rose 5% as it said it hoped to raise $2 billion with a new stock offering. The city of Barcelona is counting the cost of Wednesday's decision to cancel the Mobile World Congress because of concerns about the coronavirus outbreak. The event had been expected to pump nearly 500 million euros into the local economy. Millions more will be lost in canceling the exhibition space and reimbursing entry tickets. Dozens of major brands, including Sony and Facebook, had said that they wouldn't be attending in order to shield their employees from the potential risk of international travel. Organizers have defended their decision and said they would not compensate companies or participants who were left hanging.
This is a force majeure situation, and we don't comment on the insurance policies, but clearly there is no way that you can insure yourself out of a force majeure situation.
There we go, Mark. So the decision, not unexpected, really, but Barcelona, very, very disappointed. The mayor has said that it was a big mistake, although the organisers say it was absolutely the right call.
Indeed. Kate, thank you very much indeed. Kate Moody there with All the Business. Great to see you.